Yeah, okay. Earth calling viewers, I hope you can hear me okay. This is a test. We're not going to go through what happened 4 weeks ago. Tez is in the audience. He knows what I mean by me saying all this. Basically, episode one, we had tech issues which lasted for about 15-20 minutes in the show, hence why the show went on for so long. And I actually was live and I didn't know I was live. Today I am definitely am live. I'm hoping things are working out at the moment and you can actually hear me all right and I'm not actually making a noise and you don't hear me. I'm actually got my phone on down there with watching myself, which is a bit weird, and I can actually hear myself on the phone, so that means you guys hopefully should hear me. Now, bit of word of warning about episode two is I had problems with my voice today. I was in work this morning, which is quite rare for a Saturday, but I then went into, I had to do some recording for the channel and my voice started playing up. I have got a drink with me. Oops, if you can see, it's a Lucasade drink, so that will keep me going and I'm trying to do the best I can. But if the voice suddenly does go, then we might have to end the episode abruptly, but I'm not going to head. I'm going to do my best. I'll let good old Chris talk more. I think that's the way to do it. But anyway, welcome to Doughnut Meets the World episode 2. We're into the second episode. Last episode, thanks Tez again for taking part in episode 1, where we talked all about his review channel and everything like that. Again, we had some tech issues with that channel, but hopefully I think I've resolved what went wrong. Quite a few. About the next day, I found out what was going on, and it was simply just one little button in my Streamlabs which was playing up. I did a test with oh, I'm only 60. I did a test with Chris a couple of weeks ago, and it went well. And I've just spoken to Chris again on the webcam chat a few minutes ago, and that went well as well. The bonus of this episode is that I can use the multimedia screen because that was the thing that was playing up 4 weeks ago. And we will have another episode with Tez in the future because with things running more smoothly. But it was a fun episode. Tez will definitely think it was a good episode as well. I'm sure he'll agree with me. But anyway, as always, as I start the Doughnut Meets the World, I'll give you a bit of an update of the YouTube channel, which I'm doing, which is Doughnut Donny, which is where you're following it from now, following it now. Basically, we've got 844 subscribers, which is great news. I'm amazed that it's got that far up. I would say in such a short time, but it has been about two and a bit years. But it has risen a lot in a year. I I must admit though, in the last 2 weeks, it slowed right down. I'm not complaining about uh, getting any new subscribers is amazing, but I've noticed it slowed down quite a lot in the last couple of weeks. We've only we've had two new subscribers in 2 weeks, when the week before we had about 12, 13. So I'm slightly worried, slightly concerned that it's slowing down because the content definitely isn't slowing down. We're having some great episodes being released in the retro series, which is still going on strong. We can't hear you. Can't you hear me anymore? Ah, I can hear myself on the phone, oddly. Can you just check that you can't hear me anymore? But it seems like everything else is working fine. Only joking. You come through loud. Okay, don't do that. Um, especially from 4 weeks ago. Yeah. So there's a lot of amazing content. The retro series, Football Management retro series, is going really well. My green screen is the green screen's playing up a bit. We've had 844 subs. I'll show you what the latest episode is, which was released earlier today at 12 o'clock, which is actually a Portuguese game. As we've done over 80 episodes for the retro series, I'm now going through the games that you probably never heard of or are brand new, or how can I put this in a polite way? They're crap. So you'll probably notice the times for each episode is getting less and less because I'm not very patient when I'm playing crap games. So, but I want to go through all of them. I think we're in 80 odd. I can't remember what actually episode number we're at the moment. I think it's 89, 90, something like that. and I've done another, would you believe it, 35 episodes have already been recorded. So or even more actually. I think I'm on episode 130 now of the football games. That's at least 120 Spectrum football games I've found, and that includes quite a few homebrew ones, which are amazing. And tonight, especially, it's the homebrew takes center stage, where Chris Grillo is going to be talking about Grassroots Manager, the game he made, which I did back in May 2024. So go back and see that episode. I've actually done two Grassroots Managers episodes, one in very early beta stage, and this one was a year ago. So we should be doing. I'm sure Chris will agree. We should be doing a third episode very soon, or of a more up-to-date version, near full release maybe. We'll wait and see. But anyway, let's go through a couple of screens here, and then we'll go over to Chris because he's waiting patiently. So the latest episode, if you can still hear me, here we go. The latest episode is Treinador. Now my Portuguese is awful. It's Treinador de Futebol 2 by Mario. It was actually called Football Manager 2025. But I thought I better change the title a bit because I'm going to get a lot of well, it might do my views a lot of good, but I might get a lot of Football Manager people think it's Football Manager 2025. So we renamed it Football Manager 2025 Treinador de Futebol 2. Now Treinador de Futebol 1 was made many years ago by a 13-year-old. I forgot his name, Tiago? And he actually contacted me on the Facebook group about 4 weeks ago, and he was amazed to find that they were talking about his game as when he was 13 years old. He actually was, I think his daughter was taking him to school to show what he does, and he actually showed I think the school people, I'm sure Tiago will correct me here, or Mario could, that he actually showed the episode I did to show what he did, because there's no actual recording of his game on YouTube. I was the very first person to do it. So that was very nice to hear, I think. So this is the second episode. It got released today at 12 o'clock. If you haven't seen it, please do. And as you guys all here watching this, I can actually give you a sneaky peek of what next Saturday's episode is going to be. And it's a strange one. Again, I have to say, I'm going through the real strange games at the moment. It's freaky football. Basically, how can I put this? It's football, but not as you know it. I think you've heard that phrase before. Set in space. Yeah, football in space. It's a very strange game. I won't ruin it how I felt when I played it, but basically you're sort of like an astronaut who goes back, who helps this planet of aliens, whatever, form their own football league, and you become coach of the football team. So it's very strange. So if you a big manager, the double football manager, tracksuit manager, forget everything about those games, because this is totally different, and this is very loosely linked to football. You'll notice that in a couple of future episodes of the series that a lot of them are actually very loosely linked to football, but it's still football, hence why they're in the retro series. Spaceballs, literally, yeah. So again, this retro series, the football games, is going to last until, the plan is that basically the retro series is going to carry on until the end of the year. The actual football side until the end of the year. I've got enough content that will last until November. And then around November time, I'll do best offs and my top 10 of football games, which is going to be very difficult for me to decide because there's over 100 of them. And then the plan is in January 2026, we'll start the next stage of the retro series, which will be other sporting games. So cricket games, rugby games, horse racing games, stuff like that. So, and there's been quite a lot of those. Obviously, Grand Prix and Formula One is going to be mentioned a lot. But there's another factor, is that sometime in the next couple of months, I'm going to try to get a new PC, because Chris knows all about this. My PC is 5 years old, and I need to start getting it replaced because I've got two hard drives which are 5 years old, being constantly used. So you can imagine what might happen there. And and of course Windows 10 is ending in October. Well, support's ending in October, so I have to go over to Windows 11, which I'm not looking forward to. But anyway, what I'm going to be doing now, so if you just give me a couple of seconds, I need to send a request now, chat request back over to Chris, because we're going to start the actual episode live and let Chris take over from me, because I've done enough talking to start off with as it is. So if you just bear with me, I need to now go into the main Doughnut screen. So so you'll see me again. Oh, that's you've seen me that one. You don't want to see me again. You want to see the main collab screen, as I call it, which is that one. And Tez will know all about this, so hopefully this will work well. So I need to get old Chris back in here now, and hopefully you guys can hear him. So I need to. This is what went wrong 4 weeks ago. So cross fingers, everyone, and toes, and anything else you can cross, and hopefully this will work. So I'm going to generate a new link. Yep, that worked. Copy the link and then send it to Chris, and Chris will hopefully accept it very soon. And when he has, I will see the little icon appear on my Streamlabs. I'll click OK, and Chris will appear. Hopefully. Again, this is the bit of the stream last 4 weeks ago that went wrong. So I am really, I'm really hoping things will go right here. So there we go. Chris has been connected. Chris is alive. I will now have a sneaky peek of him. There he is. He's smiling. None of you guys can see this. I can see it, but none of you guys. I can just leave the stream like this if I want to. It won't be very good for you guys because you won't see Chris at all. But I can see Chris, but you can't see Chris. So I can be very mean if I want to and say, we're going to have a real crap stream of me just being like this. But I'm not that mean. So, especially to Chris. And Chris is styling his hair at the moment, making sure he looks handsome and everything. So let's I was going to say let's disconnect. I don't want to disconnect. I want to show on stream, don't I? God. So, okay. And there's Chris.
Yep. Hello. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world, because it is Doughnut Meets the World, so it could be anywhere in the world where you are. And at the moment, it's let's just say, welcome, Chris. It's 8:10 in the UK PM time. What time is it in Malta?
It's 12.
We are definitely worldwide today. We're in Malta live. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So you can see on my you can see on my Doughnut Meets the World that we are going around the world, and there's going to be a few people like next month we're going to America, so that's going to be interesting for the time difference. It's just I'll have to work that one out. But anyway, Chris, as we'll go through the first question, welcome to Doughnut Meets the World. Obviously, you know me pretty well. As we go through the first questions, we're going through the same format as we kind of did with Tez, and hopefully this will be going quite smoothly. So far, it's worked, so this is good. There's one big thing going on later, which is new, which I'm hoping will work when we talk about your game. But first of all, tell us about yourself. So, general things about yourself. We'll talk about Spectrum next question.
Yeah. Okay.
Over to you, because I'm going to drink.
Yeah. Have a drink. So I'm Chris. I'm 60, nearing retirement age, and I hope to be able to use that time to perhaps create some more games. As you know, I'm the creator of Grassroots Manager, which actually started 8 years ago. I have a lot of things which are coming up. I'm writing an adventure which I hope to release natively on the Spectrum. That's about 130 screens or so, text and graphics. And I have another couple of games. I have the Formula One from CRL, which I really, really liked, and for some reason I forgot. But you managed to rekindle all those memories from so long ago, and I've been playing it all the time. And I've also got a new game which is still in the planning stage but already going on. It's called Greengrocer. I haven't been to a greengrocer for yonks, but my wife suggested, why don't we do a management game like that? I said,
Interesting.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of things going on in my life, what with work as well. So time is a bit limited, but this is a passion for us. And I mean, the Spectrum, when I first saw it, I fell in love with this machine. I'm still addicted to this day. In fact, I bought the retro Spectrum, and it's been a constant on my desk. It's so easy to connect. And yeah, I'm mad about it. It's so many memories coming back again since when I
Well,
was
that actually, sorry to
yeah,
interrupt, that actually leads into question two.
yeah,
So, as you're talking about Spectrum, because if the viewers don't know, we're talking about the Spectrum tonight.
yeah,
We will go around the Spectrum and talk about other
yeah,
things a little if it comes to it. But tonight is mostly the Spectrum. So, all Commodore
yeah,
64 users, you are welcome to watch us if you want to. But we will be talking about the Spectrum. Acorn, I love
yeah.
Acorn because I used to have an Acorn Electron, so I've got a soft spot for Acorn users.
Mhm.
But tonight, this morning, it is about the Spectrum. So we're going to
Exactly.
go to your first Specky memories. So as you're talking about the Specky, we're going to talk
That's
about your
very,
first
very easy.
memories.
That's very easy. I actually started with a ZX81,
Oh,
which was confiscated from me after a few weeks by the government. That's
why?
right. We used to live in England because my dad was in the Navy, and when we came to Malta, you had to declare everything. It was back that time in 1981, I guess.
1881, yeah.
And there was an advert with a magazine I had that said, "Take control of the world," and they thought I was really going to take control of Malta. They didn't know a thing. It was confiscated. It was actually given back to me after many, many, many months. I still have it. I still have it. But let's go to the Spectrum. It was I was about 17, 1982 or something like that. I was with my mates going to play some football. We used to play football every Saturday, and it was raining. Not cats and dogs. It was like Godzillas and King Kongs. And it rarely rains in Malta, but when it rains, oh Jesus, it really pours down. And my mate Robert says, "Oh, no, my brother Godfrey's just got something called the computer. Do you want to go and see it?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah." And it had Football Manager in it.
Ah,
I see this little thing, this little Spectrum, all wires and tapes connected to a black and white telly. And I saw Football Manager, and I absolutely fell in love.
the first one.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it was my first love. Yes, the second was my wife. Yes, I can
Oh,
say.
yeah. What year was this when you saw Football Manager 82, as I call it?
Sorry, beg your pardon.
What year did you see again Football Manager 82? I call it Football Manager 82 because there's so
No,
many
oh,
versions of it.
yeah, it was that very same year that it came out.
82, 83, yeah.
82 or 83, something like that. I hadn't met my wife yet, so I met her in 84. So yeah, it must have been before that. And I was absolutely smitten, Mark. I this idea of controlling a football team and choosing the best players and selling and buying and taking care just to have players not getting injured. I was totally lost.
Yeah, yeah.
However, we could not afford the Spectrum.
Ah,
It was about £130 at the time. Our lira was the same as the English sterling, and we couldn't afford it. So when the TI 99 4A came about, I planned for that. It was just 50 quid, and it was very much affordable here. Sorry, far more affordable. So we got that, and after that I got the MSX, which is practically similar to a Spectrum. It's just the same.
sorry to interrupt. What's the computer you had? TI
99 4A, Texas Instruments. I
Texas? Because, hold on a sec. I'm just going to try to find Texas Instruments. What's again? What's the last bit?
99 4A.
Oh, yeah,
TI.
it's coming up straight away. I'm going to show the viewers what it looks like.
Yeah.
So
Good.
just bear with me for a second. Wikipedia, no prompt. Wikipedia, brilliant. They are normally very good at showing what it is. Yeah, so if you just everyone look now, this is cross fingers. This is a test for grassroots manager later on.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this will work. So we're just gonna, if you just bear with me, because I have to do a bit of trickery on the screen here. So that screen is definitely showing that. There we go. It's worked. Now this is the bit that I was trying to do 4 weeks ago. This is the, if everyone can look at your screen, this is what Chris is on about. This is the TI 994. This is on Wikipedia. I'll make this full screen hopefully so everyone can look at
Yeah,
it. So just
yeah.
bear with me for a second.
That's the original actually. Yeah,
Is that the original?
yeah. I had the 4A. It was
Oh,
a
okay, hold on. We're going to find a 4A. So
yeah. It was beige. Practically
is
every
it that
color
one?
of every computer.
See that one there? The one, if you see right to the left here. Hold on. 4A. Okay, yeah, there's the 4A.
Yeah, that's the 4A. Yeah, but the European version was beige. That's all. Well, it's on the second line. It's on the second line, I think.
Just trying to
Yeah.
find. There we go, full screen.
If you want to scroll down a bit, or scroll up actually.
There we go.
Yeah. So I had that because it offered hardware sprites. It had the TMS 9900 chip, which was a 16-bit processor. It was technically so very much superior to the Spectrum at the time. I hope nobody gets his undies in a twist. But it's
We're
really
fine. We're fine. Don't worry.
except I love all these machines, except that Texas Instruments crippled it so much. After this one, which I still have, I bought the MSX. It was a Gold Star machine. And the Gold Star machine is exactly like a Spectrum, except it even had the AY8192 chip, the sound chip, the Yamaha chip, which was later introduced onto the Spectrum Plus and the 128K. I learned assembly on it, and then my friend got a Commodore 64, and I was blown away with that.
Less
But
said about that. No.
but my brother somehow bought a Spectrum 128K home,
Ah,
and I was absolutely smitten. It had charm. It was nice. It had a good keyboard for the time, and it was so easy to program, so easy to load with the menu, and I fell in love with it. My brother, not so much. He said, "Oh, well, I'm going to take it back." And I said, "No, no, 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 no. I'll pay for it and I'll keep it." I said, "No, don't have to pay me for it. You just keep it." I still have that machine. I still use it, although with the new Spectrum, it's far better. Eventually, as it happens, I moved to the Amiga and then a succession of PCs. But that little Spectrum has always been close to my heart. And I don't know how to explain it. What is there? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who love this machine, the Spectrum. It came around in a difficult time for England. You remember there was the miners' strike, I
yeah,
think,
yeah, yeah.
when it came out, and while the other computers like the 64 or perhaps the Dragon or the Auric were a bit more expensive, this was just up everybody's street. Families could stretch to it. It came down to £99 or something like that, and people could buy it, and it was a massive success. Perhaps not as much as in the United States, but here it was quite popular.
The thing is, nowadays, when you talk about America, is that when Americans are really kind of just finding out about Spectrum. I think some
Yeah,
have known it for many years, but more
yeah,
recently I'm hearing stories of Americans finding out,
yes,
oh, this
yeah,
this cute little,
yes.
I'm not going to do American accent, this cute little British computer. Oh, well, how
Mhm.
many games has it got? And why do they look so? Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, yeah, and the ease in which you could program it.
Yeah,
I've only one problem with it. Why did they not introduce hardware sprites?
yeah,
I understand it was for the money, because I've just seen also the new rubber Kid Wonder documentary that I made.
yeah, amazing,
And
amazing.
if the Spectrum had hardware sprites, it would have blown the 64 out of the water. And
Mm.
that's all I'm going to say. And because it's so difficult to make things happen on screen. So anybody who does that to me is a genius, because I'm hopeless with graphics. I'm hopeless with graphics.
So we're going to lead to the next question.
Hmm.
and we've done that was a great memory of the ZX81 and everything, especially, and
Um,
then finding out
which,
Football Manager. I think Kevin Tom's the creator.
yeah,
I think he's realised many how much
people.
joy is brought to people worldwide playing that game. And there's been,
Definitely.
as I realise, obviously when I'm doing the retro series, there's been so many clones of it around. And then, of
Definitely.
course, without Football Manager 82, there wouldn't have been Championship Manager. Without Championship
Yeah.
Manager, there wouldn't have
Yeah.
been the current Football Manager series.
I can honestly say that because while playing this game, my friend pressed break twice or something, and he went into the listing, and I could see it in my eyes. It's so simple.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's simple that it's cheap. It's simple that it's ingenious.
Mm.
And I can honestly say that Kevin Toms was the start of my journey in IT. I
And of
have
course, you've gone into programming yourself, making Grassroots
yes, yes,
Manager and
yes,
everything like that, which we'll
yeah,
talk about soon.
yep.
But we'll lead to the next question. So we've had Spectrum memories. So
Hmm.
this one might be. Let's just going to make sure I get the right screen. Oh, because they all. That's it. That's better. You can see I'm still getting used to this. Um,
I
Favorite
could.
Specky game. Now this for
Oh,
Tez a month ago. It was so easy because he is a massive trapdoor fan, and that was so easy. But I'm gonna be interested in what you're gonna say for yours because I wouldn't have a clue yet. So
okay. So Football Manager will always be there. It will always be top of the tops, top of the tops. But I loved Automania
ah
and Wally.
yeah,
Wally and Automania picking up the parts at the cars, and it had good music. It had the Laurel and Hardy theme song, if I can remember, on when it started, and of course nobody can forget Manic Miner. Oh my God, Manic Miner!
yeah. I need to do Manic Miner as my Legend series
Now
soon.
it's something which I believe hasn't been reached
No,
ever. How did Matthew Smith was it? How did Matthew Smith was it? Yeah. How did he come up with all those screens and that idea?
such a young
Uh,
age
uh,
as well.
oh,
Such a young age.
yeah, yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
made Jet Set Willy, which
Amazing. I think it's one of the best games ever written on any machine ever. And the Spectrum version is simply the best because of the playability.
now
Yeah.
those who haven't been, if you haven't joined the ZX Spectrum Facebook groups, there's actually two with the same name. This is the group, I mean, with the 89,000 members, which is amazing because it only had 48,000 a few months ago. Um, Go in there because really clever guy called Richard Langford, who I will be interviewing in a future episode sometime later. He's actually made a really good version of Manic Miner, and
I
he's
saw
made
I
it. It
downloaded.
made it as if you think if Manic Miner was made on a Spectrum today. Well, it is. You see what I mean? If the ZX Spectrum,
Yeah.
if the Amigas, if the PCs never existed, and we stayed with 8-bit computers, it would probably be the ZX Spectrum 5 terabyte, whatever called now. I don't know. Um, that would what Manic Miner would look like now, and he's done such an amazing job because
Yeah.
it looks so colourful. The theme music is still there. I personally haven't played it yet, but I'm sure some of the chat
I,
have.
I bought it. I bought it today.
Oh,
Actually, I
you've
bought
bought
it.
it today. Oh, great. So
Yeah,
is it really good?
yeah. Oh, it's very good. It's very good. I spent a couple of hours playing when I should have been repairing my hard drive on my PC. But yeah,
Oh yeah, we'll
who
talk
knows?
about that later. Uh, yeah. So
It's really good. It's really good, and he's got this mix. He's got the classic game and the mix up and the
okay.
music.
So
Oh,
he's got
it's
two
really good.
versions.
Yeah, and the three versions actually.
Oh, three versions. What's the third?
Yeah, yeah. The playability is just right. Just like as it was on Chucky Egg. You remember Chucky Egg, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. He did the Chucky Egg version, which is in my Legend
Another,
series.
another.
So I'm going to hopefully do Manic Miner in the Legendary series, and I'll do playthrough of me playing it and then dying within 5 minutes, and then a playthrough of me playing with the Pokes of Infinitive Lives to show them other screens.
Yeah.
Because I'll have to.
I never made it past screen six. I'm hopeless at playing these games.
So it's
I'm
Manic
hopeless.
Miner. So it's a Football Manager, and yeah, as Roland's reviews has just had. Good evening, Roland's reviews, by the way. And the chat, if you're there, please send questions to us, especially at the end. If not, then I'll have to think of more questions, and it'd be a bit embarrassing. Well, Chris will have to start thinking questions to ask me. So we need audience participation here, please. But as Roland's Reviews has just said, Richard Langford makes an amazing modern Spectrum game. So if you haven't seen them, go and play them. Go and see them. Did he make Exelon as well? I think he made Chucky Egg. He made Manic Miner. The classics, and Manic Miner is a classic game. So I would say then it's
He's made Chucky Egg as well. Oh.
There's a Chucky Egg version out there. I don't know if he's played it, but I played it. I played a modern version of it. It's really good. But I actually I'm old school. I do prefer the Acorn Electron version of Chucky Egg. So Manic Miner and Football Manager, what amazing, great games they are, and the Wally ones as well.
Yep, Automania. Oh my goodness.
Is there any more recent ones you've seen that you
like?
The
more recent ones, I played a couple of Spectrum Next games.
Okay.
A friend of mine has one, and he invited me over. And they're brilliant. And it just shows what could have been done with sprites. It just shows what could have been. The Spectrum would have been a world beater. It still is.
It's amazing what would Spectrum been if it was a 16-bit computer. Yeah. If it was there with the Amiga and the ST.
Unfortunately, I didn't have the resources available back then, or now, to buy the Spectrum Next. But yeah, I would have gone for it. I would have got it. As for recent games on the original Spectrum, it must be Elite.
Oh, Elite, yeah. Well, I've got very fond memories of Elite because Elite. I am very loyal to the Spectrum. Don't get me wrong, but when you talk about Acorn and the Electron, my loyalties are then split because Acorn Electron was my very first computer, and I remember playing Elite at school on the BBC Micro, and that the computer where it came from.
We used to go to school, and everybody, all of us, bragging on how well he did or what level we are. I would have removed a little bit more of the fighting, of the conflict in it, and use it more as a management game. But it was, how did they cram all that stuff?
You would have liked Frontier then, Frontier Elite 2.
Oh no, I played Frontier.
That was more of a management one
on the Amiga and on the PC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then I moved on a bit.
It's amazing. He did an amazing job back then because you can actually play the Elite Acorn Electron BBC Micro version now, literally on your phone.
Yes,
and
I know.
the database of planet names, and there were some rude ones as well in there that some crafty programmer put in. We won't talk about the rude ones because it's not watershed here in the UK at the moment. But there was some. Go and find them. You'll find them. But I didn't tell you. So that leads on to the next question. Now, this is. I'll show you what the question is. It's all-time game, and as I say there, it can be in any format. So this means it can be a board game, it can be a Spectrum game, it can be a Commodore game, it can be a game like some games are even books, aren't they? They're games in books. So any type of media. What is your favourite all-time game? And if it's a Spectrum one, fair enough. But if there's something else, that's why I put this one in.
Okay, this is a tough one, yeah.
It's always a tough one.
I have, however, a mad affinity to flight simulators.
Okay, yeah.
I've played the ZX81 flight simulator, and I was blown away how that could be done. And I'm like, oh, you're controlling a plane. So that was the first flight sim I played. But I've moved on so much with it, and I've kept my love for flight and aviation. Like I said, my father was in the Navy, so we'd go to Farnborough and see the aircraft.
Farnborough, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd say that Microsoft Flight Sim, the 2020 version, which came out 4 years ago, it's mind-blowing.
Any funny stories?
Funny stories about
when you're playing Flight Simulator, like you accidentally misjudged something and you went into something, or
let's say I've killed a lot of people. on airliners, you sometimes forget basic stuff for forgetting
Like landing gear.
use. No, not landing gear. No, no, never that far. Never that far.
Oh,
I,
good.
I've actually logged nearly 600 hours flight time, which is quite a bit. 600 hours is quite a lot
That's a
actually.
lot, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. I've now 2024 has come along. I've changed my video card. I
Okay.
I
What have
bought
you
an
got?
RTX. I got an RTX 4060 for.
Ah,
It wasn't too expensive. It cost just 170
because
euros.
I'm obviously you know this. I'm currently looking at getting a new computer, so I'm looking at graphics cards. Okay, we're going slightly off topic here, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but we carry on. I did warn you
So
all. We
let's go.
will go
So let's
slightly off
go.
topic. I'm gonna
Let's
get
go.
I'm hoping to get a 4070 Ti Super.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I'm
yeah.
not getting a 5000 series because
No, no, no,
I
no, no.
don't need 4K or anything on my screen. I'm playing indie games, God's sake. But my 2080 Ti Touchwood is done. Has been loyal for 5 years, but I think it's now starting to struggle.
Mm.
So if anyone noticed that a future episode Doughnut Meets the World, there suddenly isn't one that month, that's because I'm trying to sort out the new computer. But these are of course, these are episodes I can't record in advance because they're live.
Yeah.
So I'm actually trying to find if there is a screen of the
Mhm.
ZX81 flight simulator.
No, it was lovely. It's I haven't I've played it not so long ago actually. It was on an emulator, of course.
And I found one.
Yeah.
So carry on
Was it?
talking. So
Yeah.
everyone, we're going to. I can't
Okay.
believe there's a flight simulator on ZX81.
No, no, why?
So let's do a bit of trickery here. There we go. So if I just put that into full screen mode, this is from the ZX81 website. It's not a very good screen, but you can see it there. The screen there. So where my mouse is going around at the moment, and the screenshot. And okay, it's a flight simulator. So
it
and
was
there's the
actually
cover
quite
down
good.
there. Of course, that looks better. So
It was quite good actually. Although if you bumped the RAM pack on the ZX81, you'll be like, "Nee," and somebody touches the screen.
you actually played it on that
Yeah,
so that
yeah,
screen.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Well,
And now you're playing Flight Simulator 2020, 21, 22, and it's
yeah,
so
yeah.
different.
I just don't believe it, It's a and even on 24 now, you can walk out of the aircraft and use
Really?
WASD and walk about in forests and
Oh
stuff.
wow, I didn't know that.
I
So we'll flick back to this screen because I don't want to reveal what we're going to be doing next. So we've looked at all-time game. So if I'm just
Mhm.
going to close that screen down, your next question is now this is the one that we're going to actually we could go back to that other screen because this is the big one now. So I've gone through those questions a little bit quicker than we did 4 weeks ago because I wanted you to talk more about you know what.
Uh,
So
yeah.
it's promote your media. So obviously we're going to be first talking about because this is how I was introduced to you. And of course it's as it's a football game as well, very close to my heart. We're going to talk about Grassroots Manager, of course. And if viewers don't know, I've actually reviewed this now. I would say Chris is the only game I've actually reviewed twice, but Trenadol de Football has just equaled it because I've just really seen. But that wasn't the same game. That was actually a sequel. So in some cases, Chris has still got that as the only one that I've reviewed the same game twice. Because Football Manager Revisited was an update. So
Yes, that's very good.
I
That's
guess this is
really.
an update. So I guess those two could go, but together.
Uh,
But we're going to look
Yeah,
at
I
promote.
still have quite a lot to go to meet Football Manager Revisited. That's
So
an amazing.
we're gonna go through as Chris is going to talk about Grassroots Manager, and I'll let Chris talk about it, and I'll try not to interrupt too much.
That's okay.
The screen on your left hand side, everyone, when you see it in a minute, I haven't put it on yet. It will be the episode I've done, the last episode I've done of Grassroots Manager. So it's slightly dated. So this is 0.253 beta, which is quite an older version.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
yeah,
If you go and play it now, it's a lot more improved. I'm actually managed to do it because I'm trying to wait as long as I can to have a full version to put onto the because I've done two beta versions. If that makes any sense.
yeah, yeah.
And I like to be surprised how the newer version will look anyway, because you know me. I like to do instant reactions. When I see Poor Mario, when I was doing Trinidad to Football 2 last week, I said to him because he was getting worried, I'll do it. I'll be as honest as I can, trying to find any bugs. And when I saw the transfer market, and guys, you'll see that in the video which I released. It's out now. I looked at the transfer market and said, "Oh, that's harsh." Then I thought, okay, that's good, and it's just my instant reaction. Hence why I like seeing these games when I haven't played them before. The exceptions are Tracksuit Manager, the double Football Manager, because I played. Who hasn't played them so many times? But I will now stop waffling, stop talking, and I will put Grassroots Manager. There we go. So I'm going to put that on full screen. So I'm learning how to do this. So I've got to click there, and oops. There we go, full screen. Of course, this is quite an old retro episode I did. This was May 2024, but that means I recorded it early 2024 in Warsaw. So nowadays I can actually put the games into full screen. Grassroots Manager is a bit different though, because it never goes full screen. But so you've got to bear in mind there.
I can explain why later on.
Yeah. So
Yes.
this is when you go into Grassroots Manager, I'll get Chris to explain this in a minute. Explain if you can explain the screen. This is the basic intro screen to the game, isn't it?
Yeah. This actually let me start with a tiny bit of information.
Hmm.
Like I said, when I saw Kevin Tom's Football Manager so many years ago, I actually said to myself, sometime I write one of those. And this all began about 8 years ago. When I had this idea that I'm a keen football follower, like probably a lot of your followers are. And I said, what I need to do is just create the fixtures and input the results myself, and I have everything available on my phone at my beck and call. And then I said, what if I could perhaps change the results myself? I put in random numbers. And after that random numbers game, I said, perhaps I can choose a team. I can make it team number one, and everything comes after that team. But team number one is always yours, and you can change and edit the players to your heart's content, and see how it goes from there. And that's where it started. Yeah. So the main screen is now you can either load a present game, which you've already had saved, or a new one. Now with the one that you're showing, Mark, it's a bit old because in December I released newer versions, and one of them is a Spectrum version.
Yeah,
It
of
was a
course.
Spectrum flavor. It has the Spectrum fonts. It has the Spectrum limitations of I forgot one now. 32 columns by 24 rows. It has the same color attributes. It's practically a Spectrum game, but running under Windows.
I just realised. I just realised. Sorry to interrupt. 'Cause this is a biggie. I just realised this is the very first one. This is episode 30.
Oh my
The
god!
one I was thinking about was episode 55. So I need to go and find episode 55. So carry on chatting. Oh, well, I'll go in the background and find this
Okay.
episode.
Okay. Okay. So I released these three versions in December. One is just like a Spectrum. One is the Commodore 64 version, with the fonts and stuff like that and colors, the brown and red, and one is the version that you played, but totally updated with new stuff like the transfers and youth players and all that. The reason why it isn't full screen is easy to see. When I started writing it, this was perhaps 2017 or 2015, so long ago. Most notebooks, most laptop computers were on a 1368 by 1280 by 768 screen, something like that. They weren't in high definition. So I had to make a game which was able to fit onto those screens so that even older machines could play it. In fact, this game is written in Blitz Basic and compiled, obviously, and it can be played even on Windows XP machines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Yeah, there's really no limit to where it can be played. I am working on a version which is a full screen, full HD version. It will look a little strange because with the spectrum limitations and the Commodore limitations, there's not much to gain from it. But anyway, back to the gameplay. Once you with these modern versions, especially the Spectrum and the Commodore ones, you can now choose up to 9 leagues. It's English league, Italian, German,
Malta.
French, Spanish, Malta, of course, yeah.
You have to have Malta.
Well done. Well, not that much in football, and also thanks to a subscriber of ZX Spectrum channel. He also provided help in the form of Portuguese and Brazilian
Oh,
leagues.
wow.
So
Amazing.
that's a bit
Oh,
of
great.
collaboration, which I really, really enjoyed. And he came up with a very good bunch of questions, which I now have to work on because I said, yeah, why didn't I think of that before? So yeah, so I'll have to think about those. And after you choose those you choose a country, then you have to choose a team which you want to manage, of course. And actually, although the game may look simple, Mark, it's done on purpose. There's a lot of
There's nothing simple about programming
no,
games.
no, no. It's not only that though. There's a lot of stuff in the background, like for example, resting players in
There we go.
case
There's the
you have
leagues.
yeah, yeah. That you have to rest players in case you're playing a big game. You're winning 2-0 and one of your players gets injured. He's off. Another one comes in, and the other one, obviously, the substitute is not that good as usual. And suddenly the 2-1 lead with at the 94th minute, and you can see the goal, and your championship hopes are gone. You've got promotion, you've got relegation, you've got so many intricacies behind it, like the transfer market being only open for, I forgot now, 4 or 5 rounds. And I tried to do.
Oh, we've lost Chris. I will get him back. Sorry about that. We will get Chris back. We've had a technical issue. So if you just bear with me a second, I'll see if I can get him back. We've done well. We've had no technical issues until then. So don't worry, guys. I will bring him back. I'll need to send another invite for him. And while I hope he realises that he's not on, I'll send him a new link and hopefully he'll get back. There might be a limit for collab cam. I doubt there is. Or it could be something to do with Chris's connection. So I'm just going to send another link to him. But what you can see on the screen down there is actually the game itself. There you go. He's got the link again. So I'm going to wait until he comes back. So this is what happens when we go live. We do have occasional issues, but this could be just because there we go. He's coming back. He's coming back, everyone. Don't panic. Chris is back. Chris is back. So
Haven't gone anywhere.
there we go. He's back. Suddenly we lost. You were there in mid-sentence and you left again. So that's. I'll put the game back on again. So rewind a minute and carry on.
Oh my goodness, where was I? Okay. You've got a number of options regarding players. Whether you can rest them, you can sell them. You can raise the youths, and according to how many matches you give them, they develop or not. Some of them can develop so much they can have a double jump in their skills. You have the team morale. So the more you're winning, the more you get, the more players, play well, like scorers if they're on a roll. I still have to add a lot to this game, which is why it's nearly always in a beta, which is something somebody has always said. Why isn't it a full game? And I keep telling them there's so much to add. I need to add a couple of cups. As I see there on your screen, you can change team names, you can change player names, you can create a league totally of your own with the best players, and perhaps you might not know this, but one of the reasons I insisted on grassroots is also because of licensing.
Hmm.
I actually contacted a lot of these teams to see if I was allowed to use their name, and I think there was a team or two. I think it's Chester or Chesterfield who didn't allow me to use their name.
Really?
Well, I said, but this is something, and I actually had
Oh,
the
that's
I actually,
very strange. Yeah.
yeah, I actually had the audacity to ask Manchester City, and and they sent me a number which is I can't even, I don't know how many zeros it has. Just use their name,
Oh, so you can't put Man City or Chester in the game,
I
or
actually,
just call them something different, like what some games do.
yeah.
Like
Like
Manchester United, it's famous. Like Man
well, the
United in Football Manager 25 is called
main road,
differently.
main road heroes, for example.
Yeah.
You see that they used to play in main road. That's main road. Yeah, as I see on your screen there, you also have problems because on the transfer market, I've made a limit of 17 players on each squad, and sometimes you see a player on the transfer market and you say, "Oh my goodness, he'd be a really good match for my team." So you sell one of your players, or you release one of your players because he doesn't want to go anywhere, or nobody's been bidding for him, and you bid for this player, and he says, "Listen, thank you for your offer, but I'm not keen on joining your squad."
Yeah.
And then suddenly you're faced with a
Yeah.
dilemma: should I get a youth to come in, or should I go for another one? Should I go for another player? These are all little problems, which crop up in a football game. But actually, it's quite good. I think it's good. It's a game I love to play myself.
Not many.
So this,
I stress not many games, Spectrum games, have youth academies. Football
mm,
Director 2 is
yeah,
famous for having
yes,
one. It takes
and
bloody
yeah,
ages to get youth players in that game,
yes,
if I pardon
one.
my French. It's
I
lovely seeing youth academies in games.
Okay, and I'll let you in on a secret. I am working on this as an original Spectrum game. So you could load it via TEP file or snapshot file to work on a real Spectrum.
Wow. There we
Yeah.
go, everyone.
I'm quite deep in it with the slight problem. I'm using a beautiful program which I purchased because whenever I see something which I really like, I purchase it. And this program is so good because you can write in any language you like, and it gets compiled using assembly. Unfortunately, text games take up a lot of RAM,
Ah,
and that is my main problem at the moment. Also, I wanted to keep this game simple because, like I said, people have been asking questions. Why isn't it 2 rounds? I wanted to keep this as a pick me up. Another secret which is also, well, I'm going to say it's no secret.
not a secret anymore, no.
No, I have a version of this game which can be played on a mobile phone.
Ah, brilliant.
And the problem is that it's on a server. I haven't managed to get the APK down for the Android or for iOS, so it doesn't let you save. So when you're not saving the game on the Football Manager, it's a bit
Yeah,
jank.
you have to play one go. Now,
But
a
it's
pi-
totally touch enabled. It plays beautifully on an iPad
yeah.
and has big screens.
If anyone can look at the screen, this is one thing I really love about this game is the like when it's a
Yeah,
yellow card, you see the referee holding a yellow card. When a goal's being scored,
yes,
there's actually an animation and noise and sound is being used. For people who haven't played Grassroots Manager, you're missing out on a big thing here. This is an older version, remember, of Grassroots Manager.
yeah,
There's a much improved version of this, and even this is still good.
yeah.
I just love the match
I,
screen here. So,
I would love to introduce some graphics, like dot matrix graphics, like they used to have in the old screens
yeah.
at the stadiums, which I still frequent, like Roots Hall at Southend United, my heart. Although we're not doing that good.
Ah, they're in non-league at the moment, sadly.
Yes. Well, the prices are still very expensive to go and watch a match.
Yeah, tell me
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, we drew away to Tunward today, 1-1.
Yeah, we keep losing at the moment.
You're not in such a bad position. You're not in such a
We're
bad
in the
position.
championship. I'm
Yeah,
not,
well,
as people don't
well,
know.
I mean, even though you're not relegation material for sure.
No, we're
No.
24 favourites to get promoted to the Premier League. I keep telling everyone. And then when they
Ah,
twig there's actually 24 teams in the league, they realise that we're actually bottom relegation favourites. But I keep saying to them, we're 24 favourites to go to the Premier League. It sounds so much better than saying we are odds on to get relegated. And
yeah,
we
yeah,
are
yeah.
showing that form. We're going
And,
back
and
down again now.
and because of you and the mate of mine who works with me, well, he used to work with me. I've been following Oxford as well.
Ah, nice,
And I'm
lovely.
looking at the matches. I said, why am I following so many teams? It's our love for football, you know. It's our
Yeah,
love for football.
there's a
But
common
anyway,
theme. Common theme to my games. I'm always, when I
yeah,
can,
yeah.
I'm always
When
Oxford's
I found when I
manager.
found when I found your channel, I said, "Oh my God, this is incredible."
Oh, thank you.
Honestly, Mark. I mean, you obviously have the same passion that I do for these things. I couldn't bring myself to do something like this, like what you're doing now, and the football is just the icing on the cake. It's good to see like-minded
I
people.
didn't realise. I thought there was only going to be 20, 30 football games on the Spectrum.
No,
125 episodes later, I realised there wasn't.
I,
So, and cult games are mostly blamed for that.
when I
So,
when I when I saw your channel, I said, "How many football management games are there?" And that, as it turns out, there's hundreds of them.
yeah,
There's over 100. And while some of them are really good, like Football Director and the original Football Manager, there are those which are, like mine, homebrew, which are not that good.
but I
Part
can't
of
knock them. I can't knock them because
no,
they're being
no,
made.
no, no.
They're being made now. So,
You learn from everything and everyone.
yeah.
That's what I've always said. You should never turn your nose up at anywhere at anyone, because there's always something you can learn from everyone. For example, I had a problem with the bubble memory sort for the league, which on a real spectrum takes ages.
Yeah.
And now I realize that why did Kevin Toms just put in uh, matches, the goal difference for and against and points? And I said, why did Kevin Toms did only that? And I realized that the bubble sort on the memory on the spectrum, on the original spectrum, is so slow. It, unless it's in machine code, it takes a good 3 minutes to come up with a league table with goals scored, one drew, lost, points, four against. It takes ages. And I'm like, how can I beat that? Actually, I then turn to a part where this is on the forthcoming Spectrum Original, where I have to turn to assembly language. And although I learned it many years ago on the MSX, and it's practically the same as the Spectrum, it's very difficult, and time consuming. I see you're moving on. One thing I wanted to say about the match is the match engine.
No, you can
Which,
carry. I wasn't doing it. It's
it's okay.
just
It's
doing my
okay.
new. I got a New Zealand rugby top, by the way, guys. I am an English supporter of rugby, but I've
Yeah,
been to New
yeah.
Zealand, hence why I got this. Um, no,
You're
you can.
blessed.
I'm just
You're
thinking
blessed.
about. I wanna, if we can, because we're gonna look at. But again, down here, we're gonna just say goodbye to this screen for a little bit. We're
Yeah.
gonna go and to go back to promote your media. And can you talk about possibly the Formula One game you're doing?
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. So when I saw the review that you did, for some reason I had played CRL's Formula One GP or something for only a little time, and then I saw your review again, and I said, "How have I forgotten this? It's brilliant!
Mm.
It's brilliant!" And I've been playing it ever since. I put it on the Retro Spectrum, and I liked it so much that I said, "Why don't I try to write a modern version of it on a Windows machine?" And I am quite advanced on it, and hopefully, yeah, by the end of the year, I'll release it for
Ah,
Windows.
and guess
But I
who's
think
going to be reviewing it? I suppose a certain Doughnut Donny, maybe.
who knows? Yeah, well, you got a suspicious guy, that one.
No, I I'm a massive Formula One fan,
Oh no,
and when I reviewed the game,
you don't know how much it is.
I
You
normally
don't
get,
know.
let's just put it this way, I normally get when a review hits 100 views in the first day, then I'm quite happy about it. If it hits 100 views in 2 days, I'm thinking yeah, it might not get that many views. Formula
Mhm,
One broke
mhm.
all records. It hit
Yeah, yeah,
1.4K in a
yeah.
week, and it hit about 500, 600 views in 2 days. I was thinking, people might like this. So,
It's really good. It's really good. You know what? It's the graphics may not be up there, but this is the beauty of the Spectrum. It is so limited, if I may say so. With 8 colors and perhaps the brightness and stuff like that. It is so limited that programmers they simply have to be so very careful on the programming side. You must grab your audience and use what you have, which is sometimes is limiting with the spectrum. It's just a
yeah.
little there, and you have to make sure that the programming and the feedback that you give to the guys playing it is really good.
Hmm.
And that is what happened, especially with Football Manager on the first one. It was totally immersive, and this one, the Formula One is it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. I can only hope I can ever, sometime, ever match those people, because it would be amazing for
Yeah,
me.
that's every time someone mentions Formula One, that's how I craft and Tez does the same. When someone mentions a game that we've reviewed already, we put a link in underneath the comment saying, "Oh, you
Yeah.
mean this one?" Here's the link. Um, so that's how we do it. And
Yeah.
the Spectrum fans, Spectrum people of the Facebook groups don't mind we doing that whatsoever. So yeah, guys, let's just go back then. Grassroots Manager is around the net. It's free. You can go and play it. We'll go and
Yes.
find the screen again for you. I'm just going to I need to find the game again because I've actually
Yeah.
getting ready for the
Yeah.
next part,
It's
which is
in-
going to be the fun part, Chris. So I better
oh
warn you
my
about
goodness.
that.
Oh my
But I'll
goodness.
go back to Grassroots Manager now just quickly to show
Yeah.
you
If
the
you if
intro
you
screen
click on
again.
if you click on the Spectrum version, you can see even with the screenshots that I've tried to keep everything just like it would be on a Spectrum on an original machine.
So if
Here,
I
right?
if I go back, okay,
Yeah.
where can we find Grassroots Manager at the moment?
It's on itch.io. We can drop a link. We can drop a link on the YouTube video afterwards. You can search for me, Grillo Malta. It's practically the same
So I'm
thing.
on itch.io now. So we go.
Yeah,
Uh,
you need to go to the dashboard. Okay, itch.io. Is it itch.io? Yeah,
yeah,
it is. It's grillomalta.itch.io.
Grillo
Grillo Malta. Grillo Malta.
in one word.
Yes, GRILLO Malta
Yeah,
dot itch.io. Dot
h.io.
itch.io. And
Oh,
you can click on Spectrum Grassroots Manager.
let's do that. That might be easier actually.
My goodness, why am I so white? I look like a ghost.
There we
I was
go. We found it. We have found it, everyone.
good.
So that was 0.2.64 now.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah,
So there we go, everyone. That's so. If you can just, I don't know, the screen's a bit too small. It is grillomalta.itch.io. There we go. And then, or just type as I just did there. It's probably easier. Grassroots Football Manager. And there is the game there. So we have got version uploaded 1st December. 3rd,
yeah.
3rd of December
Early
2024.
December.
Not
If you
3rd.
go, if you go one, you go one link back. You go one link back. Just go back.
It's got all your versions here, looks like it.
Yeah, but this is the Windows style version. I've got one which is totally Spectrum based.
That's the Spectrum one. Here it is.
Yeah, this is the white one. The white one.
Is
There
that
it
the right
is.
one?
Yep, yep,
So this is the Spectrum Grassroots Manager. So the one we looked before is the Windows version. This is
yep,
this is the more Spectrum version, how it would look
yep,
on a Specky.
yep. And you,
So
this is
again, the if you just do Grassroots Manager or Spectrum Grassroots Manager, everyone, you would find it quite easily. And then you can download it, you can pay for it. Please do. Donate money.
Well, it's okay. It doesn't matter. I mean, just seeing it there is already enough for me.
And here's the exe file. Just load it up. It's 7.6 megabytes. It's quite compared to games nowadays. It's tiny. It's tiny. Make a comment, as the people done there. Please do. Chris has worked so hard in this game, and I'm looking forward to a later version, obviously.
Yes.
But we will now go over to the bit that Chris is probably not looking forward to. It's the random questions.
Random questions.
This is going to be random questions. We're near the end. So again, I appreciate Chris being here, especially as it's a bit later for you than me.
My pleasure.
And I am trying to keep my voice.
Yeah.
So excuse me for a second. Now I have got the wheel of doom spinning at the moment. Shall I let you see the wheel of doom? I don't know.
That's okay. Just fire away. Whatever it is, it's okay.
There's the wheel of doom. It's nothing spectacular. As you can see, it's 1 to 80. Now, Tez is the only one that knows what's going on here. I'll spin the wheel, and it comes up with a random number. That number then matches a question I've got here, which could be about anything. Nothing too bad, though. Nothing too bad, so don't worry. It can be a Spectrum question. It can be a general knowledge question. It's mostly this or that. That's what the question is. It's this or that. Okay? I'll give you. So we're going to spin the wheel and see what number comes up. Of course, you guys have got a delay here. I will see the number before you see the number. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin the wheel, and before it gets to the number, I'm going to turn the screen off. So you won't know what the number is until I do.
Listen, like I said, I'm 60 and I'm half blind. I don't just can't see the screen.
So we've got sound tonight as well.
Yeah. My goodness, come on. Suspense.
Can you actually hear that sound? I don't know if you can. I could hear that sound. Viewers, if you could hear what the little jingle just did, please let me know, because I'll be intrigued to hear if you can hear that. I don't think you would be able to. I'm hoping there is viewers here, because the chat's been very quiet. If it's just been me and Chris, then yay! Question 35 then is the number.
Fire away.
Oh, this is an easy one. This is not fair. Robots or dinosaurs?
I've always been a dinosaur fan.
Okay, there we go. And I will mark that as being done. So see if we get popular ones. You get 5 questions, by the way. Oh, didn't I mention that? Ooh. I'm my meanie. So, spin the wheel again.
There you go.
As it slows down, I will stop it so you won't see it.
Okay.
I've got this little tune going on every time it selects the number, so I'm going do 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 do, and then realise you guys probably can't hear it.
I can't really. I can't.
Number 28.
Okay.
I'm not happy. Unicorn or dragon?
Dragon. Definitely dragon.
Okay, nice.
Why would I need a unicorn? I just asked the wife if she wants a unicorn.
Fair enough. Right, we go back to the wheel. That's question 2 done. I'm hoping they get a little bit harder.
Yeah, no, this is easy so far.
I think the higher numbers, it gets higher. Oops, sorry. There's no point you seeing the wheel now.
Nah.
No, we got a low one again.
Okay.
That was me saying, because that's the music being played. Question 19. You're getting all the low numbers, which is good for you, not good for me, though, because the higher ones is me thinking, oh. I just did this while I was watching a stream once, and before I knew it, I'd done 80 questions. So I was thinking, okay, that's too many. Ooh. Now, I know the answer to this one. I know what you're going to say, but if you were talking to someone else being a football fan, this would be tricky. But for you, I know the answer straight away. Football Manager or Tracksuit Manager?
No, definitely Football Manager.
Yeah, it's easy for you, but for someone else, it might be tough.
Like the old Tracksuit Manager is really very good.
Tracksuit Manager is a very, very good game.
I mean, it came out after a bit of time after Football Manager, but Football Manager was the original, and
Well,
I have
Taxi Manager, you could. I remember as a kid, I typed in all my players' names for the England squad, and so it was Oxford United players, and so even though
I believe you. I
half
believe
of
you.
Oxford United players were actually Irish, so it didn't matter anyway.
I believe you because in Football Manager I changed all the teams
You
and
just
and,
do that,
and
don't
all
you?
the players.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay,
this is
question
number four.
four.
Yeah.
Four now. I want a high number. High numbers means I was getting stuck for ideas, which means they are a lot tougher. It's spinning. There you go, it's spinning. Yes, we got a high number. At last. This is quite timely. Grassroots Manager version 2 on my retro channel was actually the 50th episode of the
Yes.
series.
Yes.
We're now at question 50. So this is question 50. Skill or popularity? Being popular or having a skill? Slightly tougher.
No, yes. I've never been a popular guy. Well,
Aw.
I've always been a popular guy, but I have never allowed it to take control of my life. So
Okay, fair enough.
I'd rather have skill. I'd rather have skill. I mean, I can play guitar. I used to play in bands. I love
Oh,
writing.
right, nice.
I love writing. I love reading. I read so many books, over 100 books every year. And yeah, skill. I can't draw to save my life, though.
You'd be pleased to know, Chris, this is the final question. Question 5. See, they're not too bad. That one got you thinking, though. That one got you thinking.
Is this by any chance Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I'm close to winning $1 million.
You're not nowhere near it, I'm afraid.
Too bad.
So we got the final number. Again, higher numbers means it's a lot more trickier.
Okay.
And you've got another high one.
Okay.
Oh, lucky. It's question 51.
It's not that high, though.
I've got 80 questions, and proof. Question 51. So it's the next one. Next question.
Okay, let's see what it is then.
Oh, this could be tricky actually for you. This is Spectrum related, but it's not football games.
Good.
One is a legendary game though. It's up there with Manic Miner for killing so many joysticks in this world.
Daley Thompson's good.
Daley Thompson's Decathlon or Hyper Sports.
Oh,
both were really good.
Oh my goodness. I remember my father-in-law coming, well, he was to be my father-in-law, and I was playing Daley Thompson's Decathlon with my wife's brother, and we're holding the joysticks and going like that. And he said, he comes up to us and said, "What are you doing? You two?" And he thought we were being naughty, you know. You keep the joystick on your knees and you wiggle it around. And
yeah, we won't mention too much about this, but yes, I know what you mean. Daley Thompson, the joystick killer. It's a legendary game. I would probably go
quick shots. Daley Thompson.
I would probably go Daley Thompson as well. But Hyper Sports is a great game, though. It's a really good game. If you compare it to the legendary DTD, then I would go for Daley Thompson's.
Yeah,
so we actually sadly near the end of the episode. It's been nearly an hour as well. I'm just gonna go through my notes again because we've got one last question to go. Just gotta make sure that I'm on. Yeah, it's now the actual conversation now goes over to you, Chris. You are now going to be the host just for this one round only.
Really?
Because it's Ask the Host. So you are asking me a question, because only fair, I've given you 5 questions, you can give me 1 back.
Okay.
So, be gentle.
No, definitely. I will go with Formula One. Does this question have to be about anything, or is it?
It's just called Ask the Host. It could be about anything. There will be certain questions I'll say not really because this is stream friendly. Remember?
Okay. No. Obviously, I wouldn't dream of it. I go with Formula One. I am a massive Formula One fan. massive. I mean, whenever Ferrari win, you can probably find me weeping beneath the telly. I've been to Bologna and Modena and Fiorano and Monza. I visited the meccas of Formula One, and I've also got a photograph with Lewis Hamilton, and I'm going like this with him. I'm sticking up my finger at him. And Lewis Hamilton has now come to
He
Ferrari.
has,
So as,
yes.
so as you can imagine, he is now one of us.
Yep.
What are your thoughts about such an important
Um,
personality joining an Italian team, and how does that
it's a good. I
affect,
think. Yeah.
affect your love for the sport?
I'm a massive Lewis Hamilton supporter. I'm not saying that because he's British and I'm British. He's an amazing driver.
Yes, he
Um,
is. He is.
I,
Yes.
I, I say even Max Verstappen is a very good driver as well.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Brits don't like him, but that's just the way things are.
Yeah,
But
nobody likes
but
him.
a lot of
Nobody.
Dutch don't like Lewis Hamilton. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
back to the Lewis Hamilton question. I think it's a great move for Ferrari, great move for Lewis, especially more for Lewis than Ferrari. I think this could be his final team. I think what a way to end your career. Nigel Mansell, another British driver,
I love him. I
had
love him.
went to Ferrari in his twilight of his career. I think Lewis has got about 2 years left. I think two or maybe three, depending how well he does this year. I
Yeah,
think he's going to
definitely.
be more
Definitely.
competitive this year because I think Ferrari at the moment are better than Mercedes. Um,
Mhm.
they've got such a loyal fan base. You think about it.
Oh,
Lewis is now going to be adored in Italy as well as Britain,
it's a
and they are
religion.
the
Take it from me. Take it from me, Mark. Ferrari is a religion in Italy.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
I
what?
can see that by the crowd, how devoted they are,
Uh,
and because it's a British driver as well, which a lot of the Italians know that the Italians, the British, the Germans, the Brazilians, the French, to some
yeah,
degree,
yeah.
are amazing Grand Prix drivers. Finns are
The Finns,
amazing
yes.
as well.
Yes. Oh,
I would say the British and the Italians are probably, and maybe the Germans because of Schumacher and Vettel are up there
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
But a British driver going over to the Red Ferrari team is a massive move, massive
Yes.
amount of pressure. But Lewis can handle it. He can
He's
easily handle it because he's a world champion.
he's matured so much in these
Yeah.
past
And
years.
he's a nice guy. He's a very
Yeah.
nice guy.
I know. And
But
he was here in Malta, and we went to meet him. Like I said, I went with my Ferrari shirt and I said, I got to shake your hand, even though I'm not. He
ah,
said, it doesn't matter. It's all in the sport, mate.
he's a
And
very
I was-
lovely guy. I
Yeah,
say again, I think after saying that, Alonso's still going strong, and he's a couple of years
yeah,
older than Lewis. But I
yes,
think Lewis will probably stay 2 years, maybe three. And then when Leclerc is a very good teammate. I don't know
yeah.
who's team leader. I think they're joint team leaders.
Yeah,
Leclerc is
yeah.
going to get better and better. He is a nice guy as well. Monacanese, isn't he? He's not French. He's Monacanese. He's Monaco.
He's from Monaco. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's brought up in Italy.
yeah.
We,
So
we know him in
I
Italy
think they'd be
because
very good. I think they'd be very good teammates. It's sad there's no
I
free
believe so.
drivers at
I
Ferrari
believe
because
so.
Carlos Sainz was a great ambassador for Ferrari as well, but someone
Yeah.
had to go.
It's,
um,
yeah, there was if Carlos Sainz should have seeded a couple of races
yeah.
to Leclerc, and Leclerc would have finished runner-up in the championship, which was very, very important for Ferrari,
So
and that is where it started to sour up a bit.
yeah. So to answer your question, beneficial to both parties. I
Yeah,
think it's a brave move from Lewis, but I think he wanted to do it,
indeed.
and I was a bit surprised he moved. But again, I thought no, it's a good decision. But I think also that means it's his final team. I think he's thinking about
I believe so.
retiring.
I
I think
believe
he's
so.
going to retire in
Yeah.
2 or 3 years' time, but that depends on how this season gets on. He won't win the World Championship this season. I don't think he will. I think McLaren will. I think Verstappen. It's going to be Verstappen, Norris, or
Yeah,
Leclerc,
yeah.
with maybe Piastri surprising everyone.
He
And
actually
Lewis
said,
is
yeah,
there. Lewis is in there, and Russell as
yeah,
well.
yeah. And Russell, of course, I can't forget
Yeah,
Russell.
Russell's
I
good,
just,
good guy. I remember Russell from the Williams days, how unlucky he
yeah,
was, and what he did for
yeah.
Williams. Because
It
I'm
was, it was.
obviously
He needs
Williams
to
are
be a bit more assertive now.
yeah Williams used to be based really close to where I live, so they
Oh,
would be my
really?
home team.
Really? I
Uh,
love Williams. I
so
love
I'm still
Williams.
loyal to Williams as well.
Yeah, so am
Um,
I. But there's
and
nobody I really dislike, and it's It's all part of the sport. You can't be happy winning against weaker opponents.
No.
And you have to have strong opponents, and you win over them, and that is the beauty of it all.
And I remember the old days of going to the British Grand Prix with my late father back in 1981 and up to 1990. I was at the British Grand Prix every year. I went to the Australian Grand Prix twice. I was there when Minardi got their first ever point, and the crowd. I remember Ferrari. I don't know who won it. Ferrari. It was the race where literally half the field got crashed in the first corner, and there was
Oh,
only
yeah.
about 8 cars left.
Okay, okay.
And this was in Melbourne.
Nearly everybody got in the points that time.
Yeah, 2002, 2003, I think it was. And
Yeah,
when I think it was Barrichello went and win, the crowd going, yes, well done. And then Minardi under Mark Webber, Australian, came sick. The crowd were roaring.
I think actually Mark Webber after the hoopla had died down, he went up on the podium, and the crowd was still there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
An
beauty.
Australian driver in a Minardi who are normally 20 laps behind everyone else.
Yeah. They were a little small team actually.
They had a cult following. They were lovely team.
Yeah.
Right. So that is we'll put your media up there. Now, this is slightly worried here because the last final bit of the episode is ask the audience. Now, the audience have been very, very quiet. Very quiet.
Yeah.
I don't think we've got much of an audience, to put it in a polite way.
It's just us.
I'm hoping someone's there, because Ask the Audience is basically the audience can now ask you or me, well, mostly it should be Chris, a question about anything. We'll give them a minute or two. If no one is answering and no one's asking the question, we'll just go to the goodbye round and just end it with Grassroots Manager here. So, audience, you can see I'm straining for time here, thinking of things to say, hoping someone's coming up. But if no one does, then that's fine. This is still very early days of Doughnut Meets the World.
Yeah.
This is only episode 2, and other than Chris saying goodbye prematurely for about 5 seconds, about half an hour ago, we've got him back, and everything seems to be working fine today, which is great. I don't think there's anyone there, sadly. So what I'm going to be doing now then is, sadly, it's going to be the final screen of the, which is, oops, there we go. If I can get that. If everyone knows where that quote comes from, then I like you even more, because I'm a science fiction fan as well. I'm a massive sci-fi fan.
And me.
And let's see. The thing is,
so long.
here we go. Thank you. Roland's Reviews. I knew you were around there somewhere.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's it. So, but we have got a question. So let's skip through that. Oops. Sorry, this is where things start to go wrong. Come on. Hide. Yes.
I know which one that is.
Hide that. Yeah, we're going to keep Heartsley host, but it's actually... No, let's just put the... let's hide that. Let's hide that. Let's hide that. Let's go back down. There we go. Yeah. So, question then from Roland's Reviews is, what Specky game deserves a remake, Chris?
Okay.
And don't say a football game.
No, definitely not. When I saw the new Spectrum, there was this Snake. Was it called the game? And it was
Centipede or something?
No, Snake, and it's made really, really good. One of my favorite all-time games, apart from all these, is Hero, which actually came out on the VCS 2600, on the Atari 2600. And the Spectrum one has excellent gameplay, the original one by Activision. It has excellent gameplay, but the graphics are so bad. The graphics are absolutely hopeless. The game is called Hero.
Hero is in Hero...
H.E.R.O.
Yeah.
It's by Activision Helicopter Emergency Rescue Operations or something.
I've never heard of this.
I have played this to death on the Atari and on the MSX.
I might have got the wrong screen here, though. There's the Activision one. Is that this one?
Hero? Activision. You can write Activision. There it is.
Tez, have you heard? Yeah, Tez has heard of it, so I'm sure Tez. Tez, have you done a video of this? Tez has done over 700 videos. So,
oh my goodness!
Yeah, he's done. I'm sure he has done Activision game. Yeah, have you ever, Tez? Sorry, we're gonna go back to Tez here because he's chatting. Tez, have you actually reviewed Hero before?
Since it's a fine game.
Yeah, it's Heroes here. By
It's
it's
amazing. And when you think about when it was done with only an 8K cartridge, 20 levels full of spiders and people needing rescue. And the astonishing thing is that
is it
the
this one? Oh,
Spectrum
that's King of
game,
Grabs. No.
the Spectrum game is really playable, but it has very lousy graphics.
Oh, he has reviewed it. Oh, here we go. Yes, it is that.
Yeah, it would
Oh
make
well,
for
I can see what you mean. Yes.
it would make for an amazing it would make for an amazing remake.
For
It was
1984, that is quite primitive, I
yes,
guess.
yes,
But it's
yes.
still, if it's still a great game to play, it doesn't
It
mean.
is, it is, it is, it is. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Ah, okay. So we'll go back to.
I love the game. I
Oops,
love
I'm
the
just going
game.
through my screens. There we go. We go back. So we'll end the chat with the obviously grassroots manager again because that's what we're here for.
Yeah,
Many thanks to Chris for being here. I know it's
you're
getting a
very
little bit
welcome.
late for you down in
It's
Malta.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's
I
okay.
appreciate you spending your time with us and the chat as
My,
well.
my
I
pleasure.
hope you have enjoyed it.
I honestly have. Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the new version of Grassroots Manager and, of course, Football One Manager. Everyone, please go over to the Grillo match malta.itch.io for Spectrum Grassroots Manager and give it a go if you haven't had a go.
You'll love it. You'll enjoy it. I'm sure you will. I'm
Or
sure you
go
will.
back to episode 50 to see a previous version of
That's
Grassroots
it.
Manager. If you
Yeah.
want to see that first before you play it, I would go and play it and see the video at the same time. Do both. Um, but many thanks for taking part, Chris. Many thanks, Tez, for being around.
And thank you so
Um,
much for inviting me. It's a thrill, actually. I really liked it.
great, thank you.
It's,
I will end the collab call. Chris, I will send you a message in a minute.
okay.
I'll just do my final little webcam speech. And then, yeah, Chris, I'll stay around because I'll chat to you on Facebook in a sec as soon as
Okay.
this stream ends. But
Okay.
thanks, Chris, for joining us. And
Okay.
we'll
Have a
hope to
nice
chat to
Sunday
you
tomorrow.
again sometime
Yeah.
soon.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Any final words?
Come on, Southend United.
Okay, that's good. I'm going to start. I'm going to do that to someone. I'm
Okay.
always going to say, I'll say any final words and see how unique it is. Thank you, Chris. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
taking part. Greatly
Thanks,
appreciated.
everyone. You're welcome.
I'll chat to you in a minute.
Yep. Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay, everyone. Let's go back to the screen. So, an hour and 25 minutes. Oops, this is the wrong screen. But you know, this is screens all right. I've got so many screens here. There we go. Thanks for everyone for coming. If you were here, for tuning in. Tez for sticking around. I'm hoping more people will go and see the playback when it's being released. It'll be released straight away after the stream ends. My voice, thankfully, because I've been drinking, as kept with me. I hope I've been a good host as well. I'm learning how to be the host for these. I think, yeah, I really enjoyed this tonight's episode. Again, many thanks for everyone tuning in. Please go and play Grassroots Manager. It is a great game. Now, episode 3 hopefully is going to happen in March. And we got Shabby Geek taking part. Shabby, a British guy, but based in America. And he does a lot of retro, collects a lot of retro items and stuff like that. And he's also a big sci-fi fan. So it's going to be a slightly different episode next month, because it won't be so much Spectrum. It's going to be more retro side, so the questions will change slightly. Again, I hope you tune in. I can't announce what date that's going to be. It's probably going to be late March. The plan at the moment is to release an episode of Doughnut Meets the World every month, and we've got at least 16, 17 people, so this could go on for a year and a half. But again, that also depends on views and stuff like that. If I notice the viewing numbers are going down all the time, that gives me an idea that people don't want to see it. So hence why, to me, I'm hoping people want to see it, because I'm enjoying it as much as the people I'm chatting to. But anyway, again, if you haven't already, please go and see the latest episode of the Retro series, Treadle to Football. It's had about 50 odd views this week, today, which is quite decent. Next episode, of course, next week is Freaky Football. Football in space. Yes, it is football in space. And that's it. That's in the end of this episode. Again, many thanks. And I'm going to end it with my Chucky Egg screen that I showed 4 weeks ago. Tez has got his trapdoor. I've got my Chucky Egg. This is done by a really talented Irish guy, Marcus. So please go and if you want a game done, he can make it for you. So I'm just going to get the webcam back on. This is the alt screen. So here we go, Grassroots Manager. If you haven't played it already, please do. If you're a big football fan, then go and play it. You really will enjoy this. And try the Spectrum version of Grassroots Manager. There is a Windows one as well. But many thanks for tuning in, and I'm going to go before my voice completely goes. And take care, everyone. And yeah, please send likes and please subscribe to my channel and all that. We're aiming to try and get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're up to 844, and I said about an hour ago that has slowed down a little bit, which is a slight worry. But I'm hoping we'll reach the 1K total. Will be amazing. But there's a lot of good stuff coming out soon. We've got the retro episode. We've got the legendary series. Currently, we've been looking at Death Chase. The next legendary series will be Exelon. That'll be the next episode. Another exclusive there. And then we've got Freaky Football, and I'm still doing the Championship Manager videos. Sounds of the Spectrum is on a hiatus for the time being. That stopped for a little while. But that might come back sometime in the future. But anyway, that's me saying goodbye. So it's 9:30 here in the UK. I'm going to retire for the day. So many thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thanks, Tez, for being around and asking the questions. A big thanks especially to Chris for taking part. And I hope you really enjoyed this. So I'm going to say au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, and any other language I can't think of saying goodbye. Goodbye and take care of yourselves. And thanks for the fish, as my last comment said. And take care of yourselves. Bye bye for now.